When you walk into a store today, you see expiration dates and FDA labels on food and drugs stating that the particular item is safe for human consumption. In the early 1900s, however, things were very different. The laws that protected consumers from harmful products were almost non-existent. As a result, we had meatpacking companies exploiting and cutting corners wherever they could to produce consumable products that may have resembled healthy and delicious foods but were actually spoiled. Upton Sinclair spent weeks undercover interviewing employees and exploring what actually happens behind factory doors. He discovered that just so companies could save money, they were treating the meat with soda ash, borax, and harsh chemicals such as sulfuric acid. In his book, The Jungle, he states, cleaning out the waste barrels every spring they did it. Cartload after cartload was taken up and dumped into the hoppers with fresh meat. By this time, the meat was rotten and littered with rat feces that they would then process and treat with chemicals, then add to the final product. Upton Sinclair brought a lot of attention to the topic, but also there were key figures such as Harvey W. Wiley, who was the founder of the Poison Squad, which was a group of people who got together and would intentionally poison their food with small amounts of chemicals to view the effects that it had on people. Big companies were using a chemical called copper sulfate, which was used to turn canned peas to a dark, vibrant shade of green, but it was found that it causes liver, kidney, and brain damage, along with many other side effects. The third main cause leading to this chain was the lack of regulation on drugs. Before the creation of the FDA, drugs such as cocaine were not regulated and were used in everyday products such as these cocaine toothache drops. Today, cocaine is a very illegal drug, but back then it was used in everything from these toothache drops to beverages that we now know today as Coca-Cola and other products that even claim to cure cancer. These three main issues eventually led to Roosevelt passing the Pure Food and Drug Act and Federal Meat Inspection Act on June 23, 1906. Today we see those acts as things such as expiration dates, ingredient lists, and having to throw food out when it has gone bad. The Federal Meat Inspection Act, FMIA, requires that all meat sold commercially be inspected and passed to ensure that it is safe, wholesome, and properly labeled. To conclude, we can see that without rules and regulations that were set by the government during the Progressive Era, meat and other food products that the consumer buys could potentially be harmful to the consumer. The government incorporated and passed the Pure Food and Drug Act, which prevented companies from producing harmful foods and other products. Along with that, they launched the FDA that is constantly creating new regulations to ensure the safety of the consumer.
During the Progressive Era, mining companies were abusing forests, thinking that the land had unlimited natural resources, not knowing the damage could be irreversible. When Roosevelt found out about what was happening, he started the USFS to protect wildlife and made the New Lands Act of 1906 and entrusted some other works to Gifford Pinchot, who started his own organization called National Conservation Committee. The sole purpose of these organizations is to protect wildlife for years to come. Fast forward to today, and you have the Trump administration working towards weakening these organizations to allow big businesses to take advantage of the land to make profit. They are even considering destroying some national parks. What we can do to prevent this from happening would be to protest the bill that the Trump administration is trying to pass and make this problem something everyone knows about. Trump is also trying to undo Obama's coal mining rule, which protects waterways from the coal mining industries, leading to the pollution of our waters. Without this law in place, the water that gets polluted would completely destroy it, along with everything living in it. Coal is one of the dirtiest ways to produce energy, because of how much toxic smoke it produces, which will only hurt us in the end. By coal mining companies dumping waste into our waters, it would be violating the Clean Water Act. In 1972, the Clean Water Act regulated pollutant discharges into the water, stopping big companies from destroying our clean drinking water. The Trump administration is also working on pushing back this act. If our waters get polluted, it could take years upon years to get clean again, and it would destroy any wildlife that lives around it. We need this act in place for the safety of us and the wildlife around it. In conclusion, the only way to protect ourselves and our environment is to protest the acts that the Trump administration is trying to take away. We need to protect the environment now so we can have a better future.